working through these questions. Hello, this is Frank, and we're now moving on to the NC Tanker Endorsement Practice Test. This test is designed for drivers who need to obtain or renew their tanker endorsement to operate tank vehicles in North Carolina. It covers essential knowledge about liquid surge, rollover prevention, proper braking techniques, and the unique handling characteristics of tank vehicles. Let's get straight into the questions. What is the primary reason tank vehicles have a higher risk of rollover? High center of gravity caused by the liquid load. This elevated center of gravity makes tank vehicles much more prone to tipping, especially during turns or sudden maneuvers. The liquid's weight sitting high in the rounded tank creates an unstable condition that requires extra caution. Moving on, how does liquid surge affect stopping? It increases stopping distance as liquid pushes forward. When you brake, the liquid continues moving forward with tremendous force, pushing against the front of the tank and adding to your vehicle's momentum. This surge effect means you need much more distance to come to a complete stop than with a solid load. Next question. What is the best way to control surge when stopping? Brake smoothly and early with steady pressure. By applying gradual, consistent brake pressure well before your stopping point, you allow the liquid to settle more gradually. This technique minimizes the dangerous back and forth sloshing that can push your vehicle forward unexpectedly. Let's continue. Why do smooth bore tanks require extra caution? Liquid moves freely and creates strong surge. Without any baffles or dividers inside, the entire liquid load can rush forward or backward as one massive wave. This unrestricted movement creates the most severe surge conditions you'll encounter as a tank driver. Time for the next question. Why must you leave outage in a cargo tank? To allow for liquid expansion with temperature changes. Liquids expand when heated, and without proper outage space, this expansion could cause dangerous overpressure, leaks, or spills. Always leaving adequate room ensures safe transport even when temperatures rise during your trip. Next up, what determines the correct amount of outage? The product and its temperature at loading. Different liquids expand at different rates, and the temperature at loading time affects how much expansion room you'll need. Following product-specific loading charts ensures you leave exactly the right amount of space. Let's see what's next. In an emergency stop, how should you brake to reduce surge risk? Apply firm, steady pressure and keep the rig straight. Maintaining directional control while braking steadily helps prevent the liquid surge from pushing you sideways into a jackknife. Keeping your vehicle aligned reduces the risk of losing control when that surge hits. Here's another one. How should you take a curve in a tank vehicle? Slow to a safe speed before the curve and accelerate gently through. Entering the curve at the right speed means you won't need to brake while turning, which could cause dangerous liquid surge. Gentle acceleration through the curve helps maintain stability as the liquid shifts. Continuing on, which load condition creates the strongest forward and backward surge? Partly filled tank. When a tank is partially full, the liquid has room to build momentum as it sloshes back and forth. This creates much stronger surge forces than either a full tank where liquid can't move much, or an empty tank with no liquid at all. Moving on, how do compartments in a tank help? They reduce the amount of liquid that can surge at one time. By dividing the tank into smaller sections, compartments limit how much liquid can move as a single mass. This significantly reduces surge forces, though it doesn't eliminate them completely. Next question. What should you verify about manhole covers and domes before driving? They are closed latched and gaskets are in good condition. Properly sealed openings prevent spills and vapor releases during transport. A damaged gasket or improperly latched cover could lead to dangerous leaks, especially when liquid surges against it. Let's continue. Where must a placarded cargo tank stop at a railroad crossing? Between 15 and 50 feet from the nearest rail. This distance gives you room to see approaching trains clearly while keeping you far enough back to avoid being struck if a train passes. It's a critical safety requirement for hazardous materials transport. Time for the next question. How should weight be distributed in a multi-compartment tank? Evenly front to rear and side to side. Proper weight distribution ensures stable handling and prevents excessive stress on any one axle. Uneven loading can cause poor handling, increased rollover risk, and potential legal weight violations. Next up, what must be verified about emergency shutoff controls before departure? They function correctly and close all product valves. These controls are your last line of defense in an emergency, allowing you to quickly stop product flow. Testing them during pre-trip ensures they'll work when you need them most. Let's see what's next. Why can a legally filled load in cool weather become unsafe later? Warming increases volume and can cause overflow or leaks. A tank filled to legal capacity on a cool morning can exceed safe levels as temperatures rise throughout the day. This thermal expansion is why proper outage is so critical for safe transport. Here's another one. How should you descend a long grade with a partially filled tank? Use a low gear and controlled braking to avoid surge buildup. The right gear helps control speed without excessive braking, while controlled brake applications prevent the liquid from building dangerous momentum. This combination keeps surge forces manageable on steep descents. Continuing on, what are smooth bore tankers commonly used for? Food-grade products that require easy cleaning. The smooth interior without baffles allows thorough sanitization between loads, which is essential for maintaining food safety standards. These tanks meet strict hygiene requirements for milk, juice, and other consumable liquids. Moving on, when should you conduct en route inspections of a tank and its fittings? Shortly after starting and as required by policy or law. That first inspection after starting catches any issues that might have developed during loading or initial movement. Regular checks throughout your trip ensure ongoing safety and compliance. Next question. How should you handle a stop sign at the bottom of a downgrade with a partial load? Slow well in advance and expect a second forward surge. The combination of gravity and liquid momentum creates multiple surge waves, with the second one often catching drivers off guard. Planning for this secondary surge prevents unexpected forward movement after you've stopped. Let's continue. How should you start from a stop in a tank vehicle? Accelerate smoothly to prevent rearward surge. Gradual acceleration allows the liquid to move back gently rather than slamming against the rear of the tank. This smooth technique maintains vehicle stability and prevents damage to the tank structure. Time for the next question. On wet roads, liquid surge can lead to loss of traction and possible jackknife from load push. When surge forces combine with reduced road grip, your vehicle can lose directional stability quickly. The liquid's momentum can push your tractor sideways, initiating a dangerous jackknife situation. Next up, what following distance should tank drivers use? Extra space beyond normal to avoid hard stops. The increased stopping distance caused by liquid surge means you need more room to react safely. This extra cushion helps you brake gradually, reducing surge effects and maintaining control. Let's see what's next. Why do baffles have holes? To allow controlled flow that reduces surge. These openings let liquid pass through at a restricted rate, slowing its movement without completely stopping it. This design breaks up the surge wave while still allowing the tank to be fully drained. Here's another one. What should you do if a product valve will not close fully during pre-trip? Do not drive until the defect is fixed. A valve that won't close completely poses serious safety and environmental risks. Operating with this defect could result in spills, citations, and potentially catastrophic incidents. Continuing on, how should tankers approach off-ramps with advisory speeds? Use a speed lower than the advisory due to rollover risk. Advisory speeds are calculated for cars, not high center of gravity tank vehicles. Your rollover risk requires taking these curves significantly slower than the posted advisory. Moving on, how do you reduce side-to-side surge when changing lanes? Make smooth gradual lane changes with plenty of space. Quick lane changes cause the liquid to slosh violently from side to side, potentially causing loss of control. Smooth, deliberate movements give the liquid time to shift gradually. Next question. What can happen if you brake hard then release too quickly in a smooth bore tank? A second surge can push the vehicle forward again. The liquid rebounds off the front of the tank when you release the brakes, creating a powerful forward push. This secondary surge can move your vehicle even after you think you've stopped. Let's continue. How should you park a tank vehicle carrying flammable liquid? Park away from ignition sources and secure per regulations. Proper parking location and security measures prevent fires and unauthorized access. Following specific regulations for flammable liquids protects both public safety and your cargo. Time for the next question. Why avoid filling some tanks completely full? Thermal expansion can raise pressure and cause spills. Different products require different amounts of expansion space based on their thermal properties. Overfilling eliminates this crucial safety margin and can lead to dangerous pressure buildup. Next up, what key difference affects handling of tank vehicles? The liquid load can shift rapidly and unpredictably. Unlike solid cargo that stays in place, liquids move independently of your vehicle's motion. This dynamic load creates handling challenges that don't exist with other cargo types. Let's see what's next. How do you verify proper outage during loading? Follow product-specific loading charts and temperature guidance. These charts account for the liquid's expansion characteristics and current temperature to determine safe fill levels. Using the correct chart for your specific product ensures adequate expansion space. Here's another one. How should you cross a curb or berm with a tank vehicle? Cross slowly at an angle to reduce rocking. Approaching at an angle allows one wheel at a time to climb the obstacle, minimizing the rocking motion that could destabilize your liquid load. This technique prevents violent liquid movement and potential rollover. Continuing on, what can uneven weights in compartments cause? Poor handling and increased rollover risk. Imbalanced loading creates unpredictable handling characteristics and puts excessive stress on tires and suspension. The uneven weight distribution significantly raises your chances of rolling over in turns. Moving on, when should you use trailer brakes alone to control speed in a curve? Never slow before the curve with service brakes and engine braking. Using trailer brakes alone in a curve can cause a jackknife, especially with the unstable liquid load. Always reduce speed before entering the curve using proper braking techniques. Next question. If the tank begins to roll during a turn, what should you do? Reduce speed smoothly and steer gently to stabilize. Sudden corrections or hard braking will make the situation worse by increasing liquid surge. Smooth, gradual adjustments give you the best chance of regaining control. Let's continue. Compared to baffled tanks, smooth bore tanks require more gradual starts and stops. Without baffles to control liquid movement, smooth bore tanks experience much stronger surge forces. This demands even more careful speed management and longer transition times for any speed changes. Time for the next question. Why must vents and pressure relief devices be checked? To ensure the tank can relieve pressure safely. These devices prevent dangerous overpressure conditions that could rupture the tank. Regular checks ensure they'll function properly if thermal expansion or other factors raise internal pressure. Next up, after an emergency hard stop, what should a tank driver expect? At least one more surge that may push the vehicle. The liquid rebounds multiple times after a hard stop, creating secondary and even tertiary surge waves. Staying alert for these additional surges prevents unexpected vehicle movement. Let's see what's next. On icy roads, which braking method best limits surge? Small, steady brake applications. Gentle, consistent braking prevents both wheel lockup and excessive liquid surge. This technique maintains traction while gradually reducing speed without creating dangerous liquid momentum. Here's another one. Before a steep downgrade, which gear should you choose? One low enough to hold speed without constant braking. The right gear lets your engine do most of the speed control work, minimizing brake use and heat buildup. This approach also reduces liquid surge from repeated braking on the descent. Continuing on, what is a safe practice when unloading through bottom outlets? Set brakes, chock wheels, and open valves slowly. These precautions prevent vehicle movement and control product flow during unloading. Opening valves gradually avoids pressure surges that could damage equipment or cause spills. Moving on, what may indicate a leaking cargo tank fitting? Wetness or stains around valves and gaskets. These visual signs often appear before a major leak develops, making regular inspection crucial. Catching these early warnings prevents product loss and potential hazards. Next question. When is a tanker endorsement required for portable tanks on a flatbed? When containers are 119 gallons or more and total is 1,000 gallons or more. This regulation applies to portable tanks that meet both the individual and aggregate capacity thresholds. Understanding these limits ensures you have the proper endorsements for your cargo. Let's continue. How does wind affect tank vehicle rollover risk? Crosswinds plus high center of gravity increase risk. Wind pressure on the large surface area of a tank combines with the already high center of gravity to create extreme rollover danger. Strong crosswinds require significant speed reduction to maintain stability. Time for the next question. What is proper steering for a sudden evasive maneuver with a tanker? Steer smoothly into and out without overcorrecting. Smooth steering inputs prevent violent liquid surge that could cause loss of control. Avoiding overcorrection is crucial as the liquid's momentum can amplify any steering mistakes. Next up, when should you avoid using cruise control in a tank vehicle? On slippery roads or when traffic varies. Cruise control prevents the quick speed adjustments needed for changing conditions. Manual throttle control gives you better feel for traction and allows immediate response to traffic changes. Let's see what's next. What should you do after coupling a tractor to a tank trailer? Test service and emergency brakes and check lines and electrical. These critical safety checks ensure your braking system will handle the unique demands of liquid cargo. Proper coupling verification prevents brake failures that could be catastrophic with a tank vehicle. Here's another one. Why should you know the specific gravity of the liquid? It affects legal weight and handling due to density. Denser liquids reach weight limits with less volume, affecting how full you can load the tank. The density also impacts surge forces and vehicle handling characteristics. Continuing on, how should you respond to a minor product spill found during a stop? Secure the area, follow procedures, and do not move until safe. Even minor spills require proper containment and cleanup to prevent environmental damage and safety hazards. Moving the vehicle could spread the spill or make the leak worse. Moving on, before entering a curve on a wet road with a partial load, you should reduce speed more than usual and avoid braking in the curve. The combination of reduced traction and liquid surge creates extreme rollover risk in wet conditions. Taking curves extra slowly with no in-curve braking gives you the best chance of maintaining control. And that completes this practice test. Great job working through these questions.